You gotta deal with talent all the time.
This one,
Let's go.
I don't know too much about this.
Let's have a good one. Good job, fellas.
You ain't like Sarkeesian?
It's kind of like you desperate.
Yeah.
Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Press Play, Episode 8, powered by 0 to 60. I'm your host, Tyler Coleman. Man, we got some stuff to talk about today. Steve Sarkisian, new Texas coach. You like it? You don't? We're going to discuss it. Couple coaches fired in the NFL, man. Are they justified or are they not? We're going to dive into that as well. And then the NBA season is early. We're going to talk about some pretenders and contenders so far to start us off in this early NBA season. But don't wait too long. Ah, man. Got to do that over.
This is why we rehearsing.
Yeah.
And cut.
Good night and welcome to another. Good night and welcome to another edition of Press Play, powered by 0 to 60. I'm your host, Tyler Coleman. Man, we got some stuff to talk about today. Steve Sarkisian, he's the next coach of Texas. Think it's right, think it's not, we're going to discuss it. 6 coaching jobs in the NFL are open. We're going to see who's going to get those spots, man. And then finally, it's early in the NBA season. We need to see and talk about who's pretenders, who's contenders. But don't wait too long. We'll be right back with more Press Play.
I'm Jamison Williams. I attend Carnegie College Preparatory High School in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm a wide receiver committed to the University of Ohio State. I see a lot of great things in Dr. Hayes. She get me loose when I'm running my routes. I feel agile. Also on the track, it's the same thing, so I'm really loose running my races.
I'm Dr. Connie Hayes with Fit for Life Sports and Rehab. If you want a competitive edge on the field, call me, 314-532-0957.
Welcome back, everybody. Now it's time to introduce my panel, man. To the far left of me, I got Big Z, Zelman Sanders. How you doing today, Z?
I'm good, man.
You ready to work?
Oh, yes, sir. How about yourself?
Man, I'm ready to get to it. And then to the closest to me on my left, man, we got Will Franklin, Mr. NFL, Mr. Vashon, Mr. Mizzou, Mr. Everything. How you doing today, Will?
I'm all right. What's up, big dog?
Man, you ready to work?
Let's do it.
Man, Texas hires a new football coach. Alabama offensive coordinator Steve Sarkisian. We're going to start with you, Z. Was it a good hire, yes or no?
Based on Sarkisian recruiting, I'll say yes. Because if he could just recruit out of Texas alone, that's going to change the dynamics of Oklahoma, of Ohio State, and even Alabama to a certain instance. So if he could take what he did at USC and bring that offensive mind in there, I think it's a good hire from a standpoint of recruiting, because that's where you win championships, the recruiting. So I think it is.
Will?
That's a tough one. Like to hire, but winning that state of Texas right now with how many different school posts from there after Texas has took a pitfall in the last 10 years, that's a tough job going into. Even with TCU down the road, they kind of been picking up traction in that state. A&M is back. who they are. Jimbo is an excellent recruiter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's hard for me to say, you know what I mean, like this is a good hire from a recruiting standpoint.
Right.
Because those big dogs that's already in that state, Texas A&M, Texas Tech is always a competitor. And then you got TCU making a run for it. Then you can't forget about Houston. You know what I mean? So those schools in itself are already on stock throughout the state. So Texas getting back to the hook 'em horn days, he got a lot of work ahead of him.
Man, Tom Herman, he was 32-18. He was 1-4 against Oklahoma, TCU, and Iowa State this year. Let me ask you guys this question, man. Was Tom Herman's firing justified, yes or no? And do you think he should have ever been hired in the first place? We'll start with you, Will.
Go ahead.
No, he should never have been hired in the first place.
Yep.
I think they gave up on Charlie Strong when he was there. I think he was the man for that job, especially what the university was going through. And he was the first black coach, along with Shaka, to be black coaches at the University of Texas in quite some time. So for them to, not give him the time and go hire someone like Tom Herman off the hype of what he was doing over there at Houston, I wasn't buying early on. And here we are a couple years later, we got a new guy coming in to try to clean up the mess Tom thought he would be able to bring over from, what was it, Houston he was at
Yes.
first? You know what I mean? So it's not a good hire, but it's still the University of Texas.
Yep.
And if this guy goes in there and do it right, the alumni bases they have, man, they get behind him. I think he can do some wonderful things in that state to get the state back behind them horns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right now, everything's divided, and anyone can come in the state and take what they want now.
See, with me, Tom Herman, with answering that, is that I think they hired him not just from University of Houston. They hired him because of Urban Meyer and Ohio State, thinking he can get some of those type of players or bring that type of nostalgia back to the University of Texas. Now, even with Sarkisian, they hoping too, not only just Texas, they hoping he can get some of the California kids, some of the Florida kids, some of the same kids that would normally go to Alabama. Can we get them back to UT? Because UT is like Cowboys in Texas. You can have the Houston Texas can be good. You can have all the Texas Tech can be good. But they have Pat Mahomes. But University of Texas, if they good, it's a whole different dynamic.
Yep.
I'm going to say this about Tom Herman. I think he was a bad hire from the jump. He didn't do a good enough job of making sure that he locked down Texas. But most importantly, he came and he took a kid from St. Louis, and he didn't play him. And I know that I feel like that kid was talented enough to come down there and make plays, and not to give him a real shot. That didn't really sit well with me. But now we talk about Steve Sarkisian, right? His best season was 9-4 at USC in 2014, right? The standard at Texas is to beat Oklahoma, beat Texas Tech, win Big 12, play for national championships. Can Sarkisian do that? And if he can, how will he go about doing it?
How much time he got?
That's the number one question.
How much time he
You know
got?
what I mean? How much time do he got, and how much money are they willing to put into the recruiting process? You know what I mean? Right now with COVID going on, you can't really get out and recruit.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you got to go through your local sports companies to find out more information about the young athletes that are out there, because they're the only ones that can touch the kids.
Yeah.
No university is getting out here right
So
now.
there's no really more
So you got to
hands-on
spend
anymore.
more money on buying certain elite packages from different programs that do the scouting services, and then you got to do your homework. Secondly, is it a priority to win Texas, or is it a priority to get the best kid in the country? And that's what they got to figure out right away. Are we going to prioritize Texas, and we going here, and if we get kids from any other states, the California, the Floridas, then yeah, but Texas alone, you shouldn't have to leave there.
Right.
You know, everyone goes into some part of Texas and takes from it. So will they have time? Will they be able to invest the money that they need to allow him to go recruit the way he needs to recruit?
Quick hit real quick. Where does Steve Sarkisian in Texas finish in the Big 12 in year one?
If they get back to the regular season, I could see them being, 7? They can play 11 games, about 7-4 first year.
Will?
And it's going to boil down to this offseason. Got to see what kids stick around. You know what I mean? What kids leave the program, because that's not the coach that came in another. So it's hard for me to gauge right now with knowing the way the transfer portal is right now. These kids just opt out, and they know it. NCAA already guaranteed them that they can play wherever they go next year. It's hard to see what he does with the type of roster that he has. So, you know what I mean? I'll put him at 5-5 right now.
Man, I have to agree with you guys. I think it's going to be a struggle for him. I still think Iowa State and Matt Campbell will be better because that's a young coach that I really like, that I think has a chance to really put a spark on the Big 12, and he's already done a little bit of that already. But we'll have to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Press Play, and we're going to get into these NFL coaching vacancies. We got 6 spots open, so stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Yeah.
Jamison Williams. I attend Carnegie College Preparatory High School in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm a wide receiver committed to the University of Ohio State. I see a lot of great things in Dr. Hayes. She get me loose when I'm running my routes. I feel agile. Also on the track, it's the same thing, so I'm really loose running my races.
I'm Dr. Connie Hayes with Fit for Life Sports and Rehab. If you want a competitive edge on the field, call me, 314-532-0957.
Welcome back to Press Play, powered by 0 to 60. I'm your host, Tyler Coleman. Man, NFL GMs and owners, they made some moves already. 6 coaching vacancies, 6 spots that got to be filled.
Yeah.
The Jacksonville Jaguars, they filed Doug Marrone after a 1-15 season. I think I can go out on a limb and say that was justified.
Oh, yeah.
But where does Jacksonville go now, and who are some candidates that you possibly like for that job?
Well, right now, you know, Urban Meyer's is the name they keep throwing around.
Yes.
As a guy that can come down there and be that one. I'm not sure about that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He's been out of the coaching game, 2 years now?
Yeah, easy.
That's a different game than college.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You're not recruiting in the NFL. That's a violation in the NFL. So I don't know how he can translate that mindset of what he's been doing mostly all his career, from recruiting and entertaining parents to now you're entertaining agents and adults.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't know if he
Right.
can make that transition right
Right.
away, but it's still a good hire with the way the youth is around that team.
Right.
There's a bunch of young talent there. With a few veteran leadership, I think he can be a guy that can go down there and get them guys to buy into what he's trying to do. It's no big fish down there. Fournette was shipped out of there earlier this year. So it's no big fish that makes him feel that, you know, I got to submit
Cater
to this.
to him.
You know what I mean? So he can go down there and kind of establish himself. But that I don't know any other coaches right now besides the firing Mr. Lynn that can fit Jacksonville right now.
And Z, we're going to throw this one to you. New York Jets, they fire Adam Gase after 2 seasons. He finished 2-14 this year. Who should be looking at that, and is that a good job? And if you're a coach coming in, right, do you keep Sam Darnold or do you look at other options?
If I'm a coach, I wouldn't want to go there. I mean, but if they're having a number 2 pick, I guess you're trying to see, you know, now when you get in there, now you got to get with the general manager, see who's free agent, see who we need to sign, because all that plays a big thing, knowing what your cap is, because they took hits, like even letting go Le'Veon Bell. Mm-hmm. So now you got Sam Darnold, you got the number 2 pick. Are you confident in Justin Fields? Because we know Trevor Lawrence is going to be gone. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't want to do it because how they've been running they even their ownership, Woody, it's just, it hasn't been good.
Yeah.
So do you want to put yourself in that position from Todd Bowles to Adam Gase, whereas now Todd Bowles went from being one of the hottest DCs when he was with Arizona to getting there to now he had to, hopefully it's just Bruce Arians throw him on and let him come back. Right. I don't like how their organization ran. So if I was a Eric Bieniemy or someone like that, I wouldn't go to the Jets.
Yeah.
I understand that. My thing is we got the Chargers. Mm-hmm. They recently fired Anthony Lynn yesterday.
Right.
He was 12-4 the previous season, and of course he took a little bit of a step back in 7-9. But he won his last 4 games. I didn't think that firing was justified, especially when you get a new quarterback. I think a coach should at least get 2 to 3 years with that new guy to see how he fits. Now, I will say this, and I want you guys to comment. I do think him not playing Herbert early hurt himself with management. Let me know you guys' thought if you guys thought that his firing was justified or not.
I can agree with that, not playing the young kid early. But at the same time, you didn't have enough offseason to prepare that young kid for an opening day start.
Yep,
You know what I mean? So for ownership to fire him in a COVID season, like, you were never behind him to start with in my eyes.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's no reason for any head coach that's coming off a 12-4 season get fired in a 7-9 season when you didn't have no offseason training. You didn't have no training camp really. You're going in and out for COVID protocol, so when someone goes down, everything shuts down, and you're trying to get through a season and you still finish 7-9. We can't help the AFC was just loaded this year. You know what I mean? We see on the other side of the NFC a team getting in the playoffs
8-8.
at 8-8.
And
You know what I mean?
6, 7, and 9.
Exactly. So it's the AFC is just a stacked conference, but at the same time, that firing was just, you know, that lets me know the real business of the game, and that a lot of us really don't understand when it comes to, you know what I mean, if you're that guy or if you're not that guy. And obviously he was never the guy for them. I think it was more of you fitting the quote of diversity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now,
That's just personally what I think.
I will pose one to you all that will be good, that probably would scare some people.
Yeah.
What if Coach Eric Bieniemy go there?
See, I'm going to be honest with you. I like that, right? But I really like him possibly teaming up with Deshaun Watson. And I ain't going to lie to you. For some reason, I feel like he could be the coach for Watson that actually makes him feel like, okay, I got a guy
But
for
the
me.
Chargers have what Kansas City has on offense.
That is true.
So which one? You got a young wonder boy in Herbert.
Yes.
Now you still got Allen. Now you got Williams, and you got that tight end, and you got them running backs. That's Kansas City. He know the offense. He running the offense. So I would rather go with a young quarterback that's now you can get all the pieces that you need because he on his rookie contract.
Yeah.
I'm not saying not Deshaun, but if I'm that man, imagine him going to the Chargers and having that young quarterback, and now he can build around him, and now they can be a problem.
But see, he's a man of foundation. Like, he's been a offensive coordinator for all these years for a reason. You know what I mean? He likes to be around a structure that supports what they do. You know what I mean? That's why he's never left their side long. Will any organization give him the foundation that he needs to build?
Right.
You know
Do
what
you
I mean?
think he have any? Do you think he have more cachet now, saying that he's a Super Bowl champ, he got the best quarterback in the game, and they know he's actually making play calls too?
I don't know, because at the end of the day, they still bring up Big Boy.
Yeah, it always seems
Big
like
Boy
they
is
put him in
always it always return right back to Big Boy. So
Them quarterbacks,
Andy,
all them know.
if Andy is the one pushing him out there, then that's a different story. But Andy is not gonna, pub him up. You know what I mean? Because he know that you are the magic behind what I'm getting credit for.
And I appreciate you what you're doing for
You know what I mean? Yeah. So you know what I mean? So it's which one of these organizations will actually, hey, sit down, we're going to lay it all out for you, and it's your choice.
Yeah.
Not you come in and we want to interview you, and these are our options.
Right.
You take it or not. Like
Right.
he needs the red carpet. Lay the red carpet out for him and give him what he needs. And I guarantee you, in a matter of 2 years,
I'm thinking, like you
couple
said, the
draft
Texans
picks and money.
Texans are the Chargers. If I was being him, I wouldn't want to go to Jacksonville.
Or Jacksonville. I say Jacksonville.
only
The
why
reason I say
I wanna go
Jacksonville
there-
because of that cap.
Yeah, but are they gonna let him move like that? He ain't the general manager.
Hey, I feel like you
if
don't
you-
make a move
if
like
you-
that if you're not serious about trying to change something of your
If
coach.
you lay it out for him,
Yeah.
then that's a different story. With that amount of money in the cap, man,
But
can
what
go
you
out there and get
said
some
though,
guys.
are they gonna do it?
Now the
Is your guy still that Tom Coughlin?
No,
Nope, he got
no.
fired too.
Good.
And this is the thing with that cap in Florida.
Yeah.
Guys love going to Florida because of the taxes.
Yeah, no state taxes. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that ain't a state that guys will run there.
Yeah.
It's California and all these other states that guys like, man, I don't want to live there because the taxes are high.
Yeah.
Guys are running to Florida. So you Miami and Jacksonville and Tampa Bay,
The only thing to piggyback off of what you said, though, Z, about letting them, it is a question because their owner does have a lot of in-house management on who they pick up.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit scary because you don't know football.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't know football. But let's play a quick game. All right. If you're a coach, all right, you got these three options. The Detroit Lions are open. Atlanta Falcons are open. Houston Texans. Which spot would you take and why with the pieces that they already have? We'll start with you, Z.
H-time, baby. I'm going to Houston. Going to Detroit? Going there? I don't know. No, I'm going to Houston.
Will?
I'm going to Atlanta. And I'm going to Atlanta because of what everything Atlanta has to offer in the city. You know what I mean? You're talking about almost a 98%, 99% black culture. 90% of the players on the field are what color?
Yep.
They're African Americans.
Yep.
I can get you here and we can get you set up around this city that can allow you to go off the field while producing on the field. And that's why a lot of guys need to make that transition.
They got Matt Ryan.
Yeah, they still got
They got
Calvin there.
Ridley.
Still got Calvin. Still got.
But what you gonna do about Matt Ryan? Do you trust him?
I gotta. If I'm going to the system, I gotta trust him right now.
And I'll say this real quick because we got to wrap up. I would rather go with the Houston Texans. I love Deshaun Watson, even though I do think Matthew Stafford is probably the best quarterback out of that group. I think he'll probably get shipped out somewhere else.
Yep.
So I would have to go.
Money.
Too much money. So I'll have to go Deshaun Watson. But we'll have to take a quick break, man, with Press Play, powered by 0 to 60. And when we come back, we're going to speak about NBA basketball. It's early in the season. We're going to talk about who we like and what we've seen so far. So we'll be right back.
Yeah.
See, like when you.
Just One Taste is moving on up. Located now in the heart of Florissant, 18 Patterson Plaza, serving the best chicken, fish, shrimp, tripe, and soul food sides. We also have catering and food truck services. And after one taste, you will be a customer for life.
Hello, I'm Simeon the Mortgage Man with Bank Midwest Mortgage. I have over 20 years of experience as a mortgage banker, and our state-of-the-art secure online mortgage center allows you to conveniently submit your application and documents online. Call me now at 314-485-9838 or apply online at simeonthemortgageman.com. Allow our family to help your family reach your goal of home ownership. Simeon the Mortgage Man with Bank Midwest Mortgage.
Welcome back, everybody. Man, NBA basketball is early in the season. In the East, we're going to start there. 76ers, starting off at the number 1 seed. Will they be able to hold that, or is that just fool's gold? We'll start with you, Will.
Fool's gold. Most dangerous team in the East is I hate to say it, Brooklyn. You know what I mean? They look the most offensively powered. They look too fluent to stay where they are right now. 76ers are looking well. You know what I mean? It's nothing against what they got going up there because Doc is a hell of a coach.
Right.
And I knew once he put his identity on that group that it would be a lot different, but Brooklyn just looks very good right now.
Yeah.
Z.
I ain't trusting the Sixers because of Ben Simmons, man.
Yeah.
I like you said, of course you got KD and Kyrie. You going with them. I still like Drew Holiday with the Bucks, man. He ain't doing what Eric Bledsoe, and he could play D, and he could score. Now, like we said, he's never been on the highest level, but he needed the opportunity. They were saying that about AD, even though Anthony Davis is, but once he got on that stage, he showed up. Yeah. Now, of course, we know what Giannis is going to do, but if we're looking at all these teams, I'm going with the Nets, then I'm going with Milwaukee. If anybody else, as far as just a team that I wasn't looking to be good or at least make the playoffs, I like the Hawks, man.
Whoa, time out.
Did he just say that?
He said Hawks. But we're gonna first jump on you because the Bucks ain't number 2. That'll be the Celtics.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna have to say.
Yeah.
Because if you talk about a young group of wings, it ain't no better than Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. And I know if you remember your boy, because you've been hyping up Giannis, and I told this show, give me Jason Tatum over him. You know you seen that game winner early. I know you seen that game winner.
About
put him
one
on
game?
no, I'm putting him on the island. I need
one
that.
game. So if you got Giannis and Tatum, Tatum needs some help on him. He gonna need some help on him. Let's not act like they don't put 3 or 4 people on him. So even if you say he can't shoot and all that, you gotta flood him. So I'm not picking Tatum over Giannis as a better player right now. You hoping he will become. This man is a 2-time MVP and Defensive Player of the Year, and you gonna make Tatum better than him?
Fool's gold.
Come on, man.
Will.
It's a 3-1-4 thing I see, huh?
No, it's really not.
Okay.
It's really not.
6-3-6.
But
Let me know.
if I need someone to take the last shot, and clearly in the last 2 games, we know who Boston got taking the last shot.
Okay, the bank was open. It was New Year's.
We're not taking Giannis to take no last shot.
Come on now. Talk
In
about
no
it.
clutch
Give me
moment.
Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, somebody else.
But that's why they got Drew Holiday.
Yeah. So they got somebody else to be the man.
Yeah, thank you.
Call it what you want. Call it the man, just call it a win.
Don't they be having that man check the ball out of bounds or something like that? Just pass the ball.
He
man.
Pippin now?
Yeah.
He Pippin now, huh? Okay.
He'll hate until you.
Hey, quick question. You mentioned the Hawks, which I told everybody on here I like the Hawks.
Yeah.
I like what they can do.
Yep.
What have you seen from Trae Young and that young group of the Hawks? And do you think they can actually slide in there? Or do you think maybe a team like the Wizards or somebody else can maybe slide in there and take their spot?
I got the Hawks, man. You see Cam Reddish defense? Yeah. He damn boys up like Scottie Pippen, man, and he young.
But Bogdan's spreading that floor off
That's
that bench,
what I'm
man.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
Well, you look a little bit.
You look a little
uneasy.
yeah.
Talk to me.
I ain't buying it, man. I ain't buying it.
So you don't think they're going to make even the 8th seed?
Get me out the All-Star break.
I got you.
You know
That's
what I mean?
fair.
Like it's hard. Like it's no different than any other. You know what I mean? Early on, everyone looks good. Everyone plays well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When injuries come into play,
Yeah.
when chemistry come into play, that's when you find out what teams are really good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right now, everybody seems pretty healthy.
Yeah.
Everybody's going. Let me see out the All-Star break.
Brad Beal and the Wizards, can they slide in with Russell Westbrook? I'm gonna be honest.
I think so.
I'm gonna say this.
I think so.
After seeing them lose their first 5 games, and now seeing what I'm seeing from Brad and his approach, and actually shout out to Brad. I had a chance to talk to him after one of his losses, and he came back and gave me everything that I needed. The way he plays in the floor of the offense, the way he plays as a team player, and how he has taken on the challenge defensively, I think they have a serious chance because Russell Westbrook, man, he's going to play with
Serious
Mo.
chance to make 8th seed?
Yeah, the 8th seed. At 7th or 8th seed.
Are they giving out ribbons?
I mean,
Okay, this
compared
participation.
to where you came from, that's solid.
I think by the end of this, I would take the Wizards before the Hawks.
So you got the Wizards at least as the 8th seed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
With 2 perennial All-Stars. That's all they worth? 8th seed? Man, that's participation, man. Give them a blue ribbon. Tell their mom I love them, take them to McDonald's. I mean, come
No
on.
Disney? No, I forgot it's
No,
cold.
no, participation.
Hey, so we got to slide over to the West. Clippers right now, they number 1. Suns 2. Lakers 3. How does that change? How does it play out? Who finishes with the number 1 seed in the West and why?
L.A. will finish.
Which
#1
LA?
in Lakers.
Oh, okay.
They the Clippers. They ain't L.A.
Yeah.
Right, they Clippers.
Right.
The Lakers will finish number 1 in the West. But my surprise team, man, that I'm liking right now is the Kings. Like I that young group of guys down there really playing. You know
And
what I mean?
Halliburton's been a good glue guy.
So I think where they are right now, I think they'll jump up to the middle of the pack. But they actually look good, man. The Clippers are gonna be the Clippers. You know what I mean?
Clippers are gonna
go out
play.
here and beat the
Fool's
Lakers,
goal.
then turn around and get
Pandemic
50
Pete.
ball. You know what I mean? I'm not sold on nothing in that organization.
As of right now, the Mavericks and Denver are not in the playoff hunt. I mean, well, they're not in the playoffs if it started today, right? I think it's safe to say that both of those teams will make it, right?
Right.
So who's going to take – is going to be an odd man out, either the Warriors, the Trailblazers, the Kings. Who gets that 6th, 7th, or 8th seed, you guys?
So that means you got the Rockets in then?
I got the Rockets in.
Yeah,
I got to go
right.
with James.
If he's there.
As long as he's there and available.
So that means somebody's replacing the Thunder.
Yes. I think so.
Okay. So
And
what
if
about-
I had to do this, if I had to say the Thunder, I really do believe the Mavs get in.
Yeah. I'm not buying Denver. Denver lost a lot, and they don't look the same as they did last year.
Lost some grit.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I'm not
Yeah, with
buying them
Grant.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So until they start, again, check me out the All-Star break. Until they start looking up, playing a lot better, you know, everybody up there just jacking shots up right now.
Will the Jazz be able to stay consistent and continue this and get in the playoffs this year?
Yeah, I think so. I just think the Pelicans going to get in, though.
Yeah.
You like the Pelicans?
At least as an 8th seed.
I don't really like the Pelicans. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't like Lonzo Ball as when we're talking about what you need to go into the playoffs and be a playoff team. And when I think about these other guys, they all have the point guard position, and they're better at that than those guys. So for me, I don't see the Pelicans getting in, even though, man, Brandon Ingram's been special this year.
Yeah.
And I'm
They
gonna
got
ask you,
something down there, man.
and I'm gonna ask y'all this quick question before because we got to wrap this up. Brandon Ingram or Jason Tatum, who you got and why? I gotta ask.
For what?
Both Duke guys, both have their own teams now. Who you guys going with?
Tatum.
I'm gonna say this is Jason Tatum. It's not particularly close. I just need to make sure we threw it out there for our Twitter fans because I mean people have been asking. So I just think we need to nip that in the bud.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say, man, I appreciate you fellas joining me tonight, man. It's been a pleasure, and we look forward to more. And this is Press Play, Episode 8, powered by 0 to 60. We appreciate everybody that's been a part of this and tuning in with us tonight. And we'll be back tomorrow night.
Yeah.